Well, good morning wherever you are, good afternoon or good evening whenever you turn into YouTube and see this message. It's for my little gangs and my small communities because it doesn't look like Christmas is going to happen with communion this year. And I've been getting a whole lot of information on Facebook about communion. So here goes, okay? There's nothing in this world that gives me more joy than serving communion at Christmas with you folks in Trentham, Overton, South Durham, and all Danville and the little congregations that I serve. There's no more blessing than sharing and gathering and sharing God's feast. But I won't be doing it this year. And a lot of people really, well, it's the time they go to church in many cases. And so they're asking questions about communion. And as I've told you, I get great joy in doing it. You don't need me. We believe in the priesthood of all believers. There is nothing in the gospel that says, you shall not serve communion. Listen, just because you're not in the church building doesn't mean you can't break bread and share the wine around your table, around the Christmas tree. And if you're alone, I know that a lot of United Churches are doing virtual services. I even know one of my colleagues in St. Lambert has a little cabana and she's going to open a window and serve it outside. There are ways around the tradition. And this is a time for us to do creative things. So be creative with your communion. Oh, yes, and there's things you can do that the Methodists did when they didn't have a priest. You can do a love feast. Look it up on Google or YouTube or any other place. The Methodists did a love feast. You simply use bread and you use water. And maybe you don't use all the specific words of coming together for communion. But saying those words, saying that Jesus came to be with his friends, took bread, broke it, and said, "This is my body given for you." And then after the supper, he took out the wine, that first miracle, and he poured it out and shared it with his friends and said, "This is a new covenant in my blood, shed for the forgiveness of sins. Do this and remember me." You can't get much more simple than that. Sharing the elements of Jesus' celebration, the basics of life, bread and wine. And we need communion during this pandemic more than we've ever needed it before. So don't hesitate. Find someone in authority in your family and ask them to say those words or other words for the love feast if you want to be more orthodox. But find a way to celebrate God's presence. Because, the only thing that we don't want to commune with this Christmas is the virus. And I'm so proud of my little churches for caring for each other, of taking those steps to make sure that we're safe so that next Christmas, we can have a hullabaloo next Christmas. We can have a celebration to beat all Christmases next Christmas. In the meantime, have a blessed Christmas. Know this, that Jesus was born into troubled times, and we too must celebrate in troubled times. I will hold another small service, okay? Christmas Eve. Hope to see you. Well, I won't see you, but I hope that you'll be there and that you are blessed and that this is a wonderful time to think of our blessings, that we have food in the fridge, a roof over our head, and a technology that lets us communicate. Be safe. Take care. Amen.